What's up, all you mentees? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and join me today as I take an advanced look at X-Men Avengers Onslaught and X-Men Milestones Messiah Complex from Marvel Comics, so please stay tuned. As always, before I get started, I'd like to say a thank you to David Gabriel and the folks at Marvel for sending us advanced copies of both of these books. These books come out on March 18th at comic book stores and places like cheapgraphicnovels.com, in-stock trades, and Tales of Wonder. Now, let's see. We are going to be looking at X-Men Avengers Onslaught trade paperback first. So this book has been previously released as an omnibus edition. There have been complete collections released. There have been old school trade paperbacks released. And recently there was an X-Men Milestones version of this book. So here are what those spines look like. This came out about a month or so ago. This collects the entirety of Onslaught, but it just collects the main events. It doesn't collect the impacts, which is the crossover, or what some of us like to call the Red Skies, with other issues like Punisher and Spider-Man and things like that. This is just mainly the Avengers stuff and the X-Men all in one event from beginning to end. This is a volume 1, so we know there's going to be a volume 2. Now let's take a look in here, because I think that might be confusing. If you want the entire event, this is the way to collect it. Or I guess if you get them in omnibus format, try to find the omnibus, but that's been out of print for a while. Because the milestone just focuses on the X-Men and Avengers part. It doesn't focus on the crossover stuff, like I mentioned with Punisher, or Amazing Spider-Man, or Green Goblin, and things like that. So this particular volume right here collects Cable 32 and 33, Uncanny X-Men 333 to 335, X-Force 55, X-Men 15 through 17, X-Men 53 and 54, X-Men Unlimited number 11, Onslaught 1, and that is Onslaught X-Men number 1, which is kind of like where everything kicks off. And then Onslaught Marvel Universe is the finale, kind of like the Omega. And also Avengers 401, Fantastic Four 415. And that's where this leaves off. And I can't flip too much through here in case you've never read it, because this is the issue where the identity of Onslaught is revealed. So it's got artwork in here from Adam Polina, Joe Madureira, Steve Epting, Adam and Andy Kubert, Steve Scrooge. Just a lot of talent that went into this book. There's also Ian Churchill, Pasquale Ferry, and mainly it is written by Scott Lobdell and Mark Waid. That is the big two writers on here. Jeff Loeb, I think, has some stuff in here as well as Terry Cavanagh and John Ostrander. But this book, by the way, retails for $39.99 and has 440 pages of X-Men action. Or at least that's the way it kicks off. It does start setting up the events for the Avengers and what happens in that crossover. Now let's look here in the back for some extras. There's some pinups. It's an interesting Scott McDaniel pinup. Terry Dotson Rogue, I think. There's Alan Davis. It's George Perez. And I think, yeah, that's Rick Leonardi. He's been a big fan of his art. Jeff Matsuda, who was drawing X-Factor at the time. Aaron Weisenfeld. Man, that dude. Oh, I can't show the next page because it reveals who Onslaught is. I know these stories are old, but I hate to ruin it for anybody that hasn't read it yet. And this kind of catches you up on what's happened and where Onslaught was first mentioned. The one book I didn't see in here is X-Men Unlimited number 10. Oh, and here are some promotional artwork. Then again, X-Men Unlimited number 10 wasn't collected in that omnibus. And speaking of that omnibus, I have a feeling that there's going to be 3 of these trade paperbacks, and all 3 of these trades are going to make up what's in that omni. Next up, we're going to be looking at Messiah Complex. Here's what the spines look like together. I forgot to mention that little volume 1 right there for Onslaught. So this is Messiah Complex. This has been previously collected in trade paperback formats, and of course the OHC, which has been out of print for a while. But this is the X-Men Milestones version. So That's what you're getting in here. This was a crossover event. I think it was 2006 when this crossover started. 2005, 2006. It was in between the pages of Uncanny X-Men, X-Factor, New X-Men, and then X-Men. So you had Ed Brubaker, you had Mike Carey, you had Peter David, and then you had Colin Yost writing New X-Men. It kicks off with this wonderful artwork right here by Mark Silvestri, who did the one-shot. And if you've been reading X-Men for a long time, this is such a cool crossover, because X-Men titles weren't really talking to each other back then. One event in X-Men wasn't affecting the events of the X-Factor, but I think this is the one that got them all focused again, and it brought back that summer crossover from the late 80s, early 90s, which kicked off with Mutant Massacre. Just showcasing some of the different artwork, like Humberto Ramos, Chris Bachalo's in here. Let's see, Billy Tan. But anyway, this is the event that did that. This book right here is 352 pages and retails for $34.99. They have been pumping out these X-Men milestones. We have just about every crossover, with the exception, I think, of, or at least it hasn't been solicited, House of M, and I think Age of X-Man hasn't been solicited yet. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting that we have just about everything as far as the events in this milestone format. Now, people have been asking me, they're like, when are they going to reprint Inferno? When are they going to reprint Fall of the Mutants? And right now, I don't know, because I haven't heard anything. All I know is that they're trying to get these out there. Maybe in the future, I'm sure those will be reprinted. I mean, we did get a Mutant Massacre omnibus. By the way, one thing I forgot to mention was all the covers are done by David Finch. So this collects, like I said, the Messiah Complex one-shot back here. That kicked it off with Mark Silvestri's awesome artwork. Then it has Uncanny X-Men 492 to 494, X-Men 205 to 207, New X-Men 44 through 46, and X-Factor 25 through 27. Now, there are some things in here that kind of kick off the series of X-Force, which was done by Colin Yost. It changes a lot of the characters within the pages of X-Factor. Some things happen within the pages of New X-Men. So it does have an overall impact. Oh, that's right. Especially between Cable and Bishop and this new little baby named Hope. And all that is later on in the series of Cable. Now let's look in the back here for extras. Can't spoil that ending, so it's all censored. There's the sketch variant. And then, of course, the one-shot variant by Mark Silvestri, which they've been using as the covers. This is the Top Cow exclusive, and then the variant right here of Uncanny X-Men 492. So all these had variants. I think that's the X-Force variant right there. Simone Bianchi, Jimmy Palmiotti, or I'm sorry, not Jimmy Palmiotti. This is Jimmy Chung. And where is, Jeffrey Scott Campbell. And Mark Silvestri. There is a Simone Bianchi this right here. I remember when he did this, he accidentally drew Sunfire with his original costume, and he had to go back and redraw it. So the original print of this had Sunfire in those original costume, and some more pinups and stuff. So this is Messiah Complex, and this is where the idea was first born in the summer summit meetings that they have. Oh, to be a fly on the wall in those summer meetings. When these books come out on March 18th, you can purchase them from
cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off the cover price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. And check out their bargain bin for even greater deals up to 90% off cover price. And for you Minties, Cheap Graphic Novels is running a special promotion. If you're a first-time customer, let them know you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discounts, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more.
Now, that was the content of the book and the page count. Please let me know in the comments down below if you are going to pick these up, if you only get these type of books in trade paperback, if you already got the X-Men Milestones Onslaught, if you have the Omnis, or you're hoping for a reprint of the OHC of Messiah Complex. I'd love to know all those comments down below. Please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. We put out videos every day. The notifications button to let you know when our videos are going live. We can be found on Redbubble and on Patreon, and all of that information is in the description down below. And remember, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint.